Hello, welcome to the Real Antonette Come Forth YouTube channel. My name is Antonette Smith and I am your author. Remember to get your books, get your books, get your books. I will be uploading different videos every week. And we are still in the Real Antonette Come Forth value number 4. This is our final video for volume 4. We've been in this book the whole month of February, and it is titled The Addict, Drug and Sex Addiction, age 18 to 26. And so today I will be reading from another chapter. Remember, this book has 19 chapters. I will read them to you again. Chapter 1, Chaos. Chapter 2, I'm leaving the state. Chapter 3, New Place, Same Me. Chapter 4, Hurt on Top of Hurt. Chapter 5, The Addict. Chapter 6, Addiction Increases. Chapter 7, Cover My Tracks. Chapter 8, Scared for My Life. Chapter 9, I Get Help. Chapter 10, The Guilt, Shame, and Confusion. Chapter 11, My Estate in Mississippi. Chapter 12, The Devastation and Betrayal. Chapter 13, I Relapse and My Miracle Child. Chapter 14, Pressure Will Burst a Pipe. Chapter 15, The Lowest Place in My Life. Chapter 16, Rehab and the Surprise of My Bible Boy. Chapter 17, From Bad to Worse. Chapter 18, Can't Get No Worse Than This. And Chapter 19, It Just Got Worse. So I will be reading from chapter 15, titled The Lowest Place in My Life. And it is September 1998, age 22. Well, I'm still living alone with my 4 children, still attending my anger management session 3 days a week. My aunt and uncles are coming to stay the night with me, which is great. They're coming this weekend to stay. I take my baby to visit my mother in prison when she turned 3 months. My brother and I are back talking. The children and I go stay with him on some weekends, usually once a month. So life's been getting better. I now take care of myself. I now voice my opinion. If I don't like something, I don't like it. I don't keep quiet anymore. I learned that in therapy. I have freedom of speech, and that's my right to speak how I feel, whether the person I'm talking to likes it or not. I have learned that I'm not responsible for anyone's actions but my own. I am not responsible for my mother shooting my children's father. She chose to buy the gun. She chose to shoot him, and she made those decisions, not me. I'm not responsible for my father being in prison. He chose to continue selling and dealing drugs and buying stolen cars. I didn't make those decisions. He did. I'm not responsible for my children's father not being in their lives. He chose to beat on me in front of my children. He chooses to leave us and be gone 3 weeks out of the 4 while we were together. So it's his fault that he hasn't spent time with his children. I have learned when I put the responsibility on the correct people, I'm free. I free myself from carrying all the guilt, all the shame. I wasn't responsible for how they responded to any situation that was presented to them, just like they're not responsible for how I react to any situation. I have learned that I can't control how people feel or respond to me, but I can control how I respond to them and how I feel about them. I can only control myself and myself only. I don't have to be in a relationship with anyone that wants to be in a relationship with me. I have a choice. There is no such thing as I don't have a choice. You always have a choice in every situation. You may or may not like the choices that you have, but you have them. So that is what I teach my children. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't have a choice in the matter, because you do. So I live my life to my satisfaction and take care of me and my 4 children. I work at the grocery store 5 days a week during the day, and my daughter watches her while I work, and the other children are in school. If I work on a Saturday, she watches them, but I don't work on Sundays at all. We go to church every Sunday and Wednesday. My daughter's father is allowed to visit her in our home 1 hour every day. He decides to come, which is few and far between, and that's his problem too. I can't concern myself with what people do and don't do. I have come to the conclusion that they do what they want to do, and I do what I have to do, and that's to care for myself and my children. I'm going to end it right there. I started to read this chapter, The Lord's Place in My Life, because if you finish reading the chapter, you will see that I had a relapse, and your drug addiction, it gets worse as the time goes by. So you just have to get the book and see, what happened that I became to the Lord's place in my life. So I'm going to answer the remaining of this long list of questions that I have from Mississippi. And then it's still based on this book right here titled The Addict, Drug and Sex Addiction. But you can still send in your questions no matter, what book we're on. But I'm going to read these questions to you. Okay. So question 9. It says, when did you decide to get clean and sober, and what led to this decision? I decided to get clean and sober in 2002. Yes, 2002. 2002. And what led to that decision was my children. Well, was it 2002? Yeah. I really started to really just make up my mind, like, I can't live like this anymore. Yeah, so 2002. What really led to that decision was my son, my oldest son. He had become very rebellious. We had moved and moved to another city. He was in a new school. His father was in prison again. And he began to act out, and they were saying that I had to take him to get therapy before they would let him back in school. So, I was still under, anger management, classes, therapy that I had to go, which was court ordered. And so I signed him up at the same place that I was going. And in that session, they let you come in with your child first to hear what's going on, to see if the child wanted to talk with the parent being present or rather the parent not being present. And in the session, I was explaining to them that, his father had been in jail in and out, and this is why he was upset, and I'm doing the best that I can, and, and all this and that. And they asked him, what did he think? And he was like, I want my daddy. I want my daddy. I want to be with my daddy. And I don't like my mama. And I was shocked, like, like your mama. He was like, she don't really care about us. All she care about is going to work, drinking, and drugs and sex. I was stunned. I was shocked because I think my child was like 9 years old, 9 or 10 years old. And I just, it just flabbergasted me. It just, I was just horrified to hear that. So, I was kind of thrown back. I didn't say anything. Of course, I was at a loss for words. So the therapist's like, you want to go take a break? And I'm like, yeah, I need a cigarette. Like, I really need to go smoke me a cigarette. And she finished talking to my son, and I went outside and had me 2 or 3 cigarettes until his session was over with. And then I went back in and sat outside in the lobby, and they called me, was like he's done, and, you know, set up a follow-up appointment and saying, like how many days a week that he actually needed to come. And so as me and my son walked home, I didn't say much. I didn't say much. When we got close to home, I just said, you know, I'm sorry you feel like that. I didn't know that. Like, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. And that's when I decided to say, you know what? My children is suffering. I had no idea that they really understood what was going on with me. That they really understood the things that I was doing. Because it had got really bad. And my son seen a lot of, because, you know, he lived in the house with me. And at this point, my drug habit had really begun to take over. I started having different people in the house coming to get high and all this different type of stuff. So, I you know, it really got bad. And so that's what made me to say, I got to do better. And I can't do better here. So the next day, you know, I called my aunt in Mississippi and explained to her what was going on. And I said, I just got to leave here. I got to leave here. My children is suffering. They're trying to label my son because of what we're going through. And I'm not going to have him be labeled by anyone, you know. And she said, you can always come home. And she was like, you know, your daddy had been worrying me about you. I don't know what's going on up there. And like a week before then, she had been sending my brother to come and find me and want me to call her. And like I said, I'm going to call. And, you know, and finally he like, no, you going to call right now while I'm right here. You know, and so she was like, I don't know what you up there doing. I don't know what you into or nothing like that. She's like, but your daddy is worrying me. And by this time, my father was deceased. And after he died, my drug habit got extremely bad. But me hearing my son say, I don't care about anything but drugs and sex, that just broke my heart. That was it for me. That was it for me. So, like I said, I knew that I was supposed to be on probation in 2 different counties for a number of years. That no longer mattered to me. I knew that I could run the possibility of going to prison if I didn't, you know, do what these people told me to do. In fact, they was wanting me to go into in-house rehab, but I couldn't take my son. I could take the 2 young because he was too old. In this rehabilitation center, they didn't take children over 10 or something like that. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with them? I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So I chose to leave, and that's when I moved to Mississippi. I made up my mind that I'm gonna get right for my children because I see that I have damaged them beyond the point. And I really thought the bigger issue was with their father, but I seen that it was with me. So that's when I decided to get clean and sober, and that's what led to my decision, my son. Okay. What helped you to stay clean? What helped me to stay clean was fighting to give myself back to my children, fighting to get their children their mother back. Because you have to understand, I had a number of years of being clean before I even used drugs, and I had my children. We was very, very close. We was happy. You know, even though everything that I had gone through, I became a parent at 13, you know. And so I had a lot of good years with my children before the drug use. And then even sometime with the minor drug use that I was using, the cocaine, like I said, things really took a bad turn for me when I got on the heroin. And so those years, it was just horrible, you know. It was worse than anything, and it was worse for them as well. So to fight to say, I want to see my children happy again. I want them to see their mother at her best. That's what helped me to stay clean. And that's what still helps me to stay clean today. because I want them to see me at my best, and I want to see myself at my best. I want to give myself a chance. I want to give them a chance, you know. So that's what helped me stay clean. Like I say, I still do be very cautious where I go, who I talk to, what I do, what I say, what I'm involved in. If something, I no longer harbor different feelings and emotions, and something comes up, no, we need to deal with it, because my sobriety is at stake. And I don't care how many years it's been since you've been clean. You still have to every day decide, how am I going to deal with this life issue that come up? You know, am I going to stay clean, or am I going to resort back to drugs? And I mean, many things have taken place in these last 18 years that I've been clean. But you have to decide. I decide every day, how am I going to live? You know, so that's what helped me to stay clean. The final question that I have is, what advice can you give to those who might be struggling with addiction and looking for a way out? Get help. Find you a rehabilitation center to get into. Get you a detox. You have to be, I think you need to be medically monitored to detox off of drugs, because you can really lose your life trying to detox and go cold turkey. You know, find you a treatment center. You know, they have different places that take walk-ins, and it's called detox. You'll be at detox for maybe, 2-3 days, depending on the type of drug that you want, and no matter how much is in your system. But they medically monitor you, your blood pressure, and different things like that, your symptoms. If it's really bad, they may give you you may have to be hospitalized, get an IV or whatever, or they'll give you a substitution to help you to get through your withdrawals and things of that nature. But seek help. Don't try to do it on your own. Get educated on your addiction, because it's an addiction. And you need to learn how to get educated on not only the drugs, but how to deal with you, how to deal with life as it comes. And you can't do that on your own. You have to be taught to live a new way, to deal with things differently, because the way you dealt with them is not working for you. You've ended up on drugs, which is a bigger problem. You know, so seek help, you know. And then they teach you to find someone to make you accountable. So you got to have somebody that keep up with you. You know, where you just, oh, well, I'm just going to go to the store. You know, no, you got to be accountable to somebody. Okay, I'm going to go to the store. I'm only going to be gone 30 minutes. You know, you have to learn a new way of life. Everything has to completely change. And you have to be taught that. You have to be taught that the same way you was taught how to use drugs and how to go about getting drugs, and you come up with all kind of ideas to get your fix and how to get money and stuff like that. Now you got to come up with a lot of ideas to learn how to get clean and stay clean. So get help. Get help. Go to treatments. Go to meetings, NA, AA, whatever your drug of choice is. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Get to the bottom of why you start using drugs in the first place. Get you help. If you need therapy, working through some type of form of abuse that you have occurred or that you encounter, that you've gone through, that caused you to have use drugs, then seek help for that. If you've ended a relationship or have a death of a family member, something like that, that has plunged you into a depression, and it caused you to use drugs, then deal with it. Get you some help. Get you some counseling. Get you somebody to help you. You can't do this by yourself. You can't do this by yourself. You're going to need a lot of people that's educated and medically inclined to deal with your situation. You know, get books and read them. You can read about your own addiction as well. They offer you books, NAAA books. I had them all, you know. And they teach you about working the different steps, you know, and I still do that. Some of that today, self-evaluation, evaluate yourself. What is in you that's causing you to do these things that you do, that's causing you to have drugs? What are your triggers? What happened that triggers you and you just automatically want to go get high? What is it? You have to learn about yourself. You have to study yourself, you know. So I just recommend that you get help. First of all, get detox. get detox, go into detox, you know, go into a treatment center to so they can help you wean yourself off of these drugs. And then they start teaching you classes on teaching you about your drug use and your pattern and what it does. And, you know, and don't be arrogant and think that it's not bad as what it is, because it get worse. You know, when I first went in, I was like, oh, I'm not that bad. I mean, I got my own house. I'm not eating out the garbage can. I'm not tricking, and all that stuff. I wasn't in the beginning. I'm like, I'm able to still supply my drug habit. You know, I'm still able to function, but it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time that I was just like the other people, prostituting on the streets, tricking off to get a fix, stealing out of stores, being arrested. It was just a matter of time. You know, there is no, well, I'm a high-class drug addict. That's nonsense. That is straight nonsense. An addict is an addict. A junkie is a junkie. You know? So, get some help. Get yourself some help. Change your environment. Change your people you be around. You know? Get you somebody that's gonna uplift you. You know? That won't wail for you. That see better in you. You know? So that believe in you. Until you can believe in yourself. You need that. You need that. Somebody to believe in you until you can believe in yourself. Somebody to stand strong for you till you can stand for yourself. You need that. So I would recommend you get help. Get you a close group of people that really love and care about your well-being. You know, that's not afraid to tell you the truth. You don't need people sugarcoating stuff around y'all, girl. You know, it's just a little habit. No, you need somebody that's going to tell you the raw truth. You got a problem and you need to deal with it. And I help you deal with it. I've actually taken people to rehabilitation centers. I've actually helped coach them through their stay at the rehabs and try to make sure they have what they need. I've actually taken a lot of people calls in the middle of the night that's wanting to commit suicide and want to go have another fix. I've done that. You see what I'm saying? Because I've been there. And it's always, you always need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to know, to know, you need to know that somebody care. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you get strong so you can help other people. You understand what I mean? Now, I ain't no drug counselor, nothing like that, but I have encountered other people in my sobriety that needed my help. You understand what I'm saying? And to just help them along the way, because somebody helped me along the way. So get you some help. Get you some help. Educate yourself on why you using drugs. Because like I say, drugs is only 10% of your problem. The other 90% is your feelings. How you feel about yourself. How you feel about life. How you're not able to cope. It's a coping mechanism when you use drugs. You're just trying to find a way to cope. So now you got to learn how to find another way to cope with whatever it is that you're dealing with. Okay? So that is the final question that I have. So thank you, Mississippi. You have kept us busy. Okay, with answering all these questions. Remember to send in all your questions and comments, because I will not be going on tour at all this year. Even if, you know, Barnes and Noble dudes say we can come now, I've decided that I'm not going on tour this year at all. I will be coming on live every week doing reading sessions and and question and answering sessions. So send your questions on in. We will do live readings on both book series and my new book that just came out, my Jesus Experience. We're gonna be talking about that when we get to that time. And then I also have another book that's be coming out you know, this year. 2 more that'll be coming out the year of 2021. So we're gonna be busy, y'all. So I'm gonna be live, you know, doing these videos. So just thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And I will be doing other videos, you know, for the seminars and stuff that I used to teach with my empowerment ministry too. So that is also what I do on this page as well. So thank you for your continued support. Thank you for purchasing my products. I'm glad you are following me and that you are enjoying my life testimony. And I pray that it is giving you strength and giving you encouragement to change and to want better and do better. And I hope that I'm shedding light on a lot of your life situations so you can do better. Okay? So remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.